Good morning, all. Today I am going to discuss about process motives. Okay, so that is nothing but motivation process. Both are same, meaning is same. So process motives are motivation process. So how the motivation is going on? That means what is the procedure for that? That is one of the important thing, and that is also there in your syllabus. So the motivation process progresses through a series of discrete steps. Okay, so the motivation process progresses through a series of discrete steps. Okay, so it has some series of discrete steps. So then needs motives. So needs oblique motives. That's why the needs, suppose if the needs are fulfilled, then automatically motivation is there. Okay, suppose ultimately the employee is motivated because the needs of the employee is fulfilled, then ultimately uh, the employees are in motivated, the employees are motivated. So then are the starting point of motivation. Okay, so needs and motives. Okay, so what are the needs and what are the motives? And that what is the meaning is, so if suppose for suppose if you are doing anything, there is a need. Suppose if there is need, there is only have to do this. Okay, suppose for the purpose of salary, then you have to do some type of jobs. Okay, that means you have to do some type of works, or for the sake, for the purpose of earning of money. Okay, so otherwise you are not doing that one. Okay, so because they are offer the money, then you are ready to do that work. Otherwise you need not to do that work. Suppose you are not doing that work. Okay, suppose if there is a need of money, then you have to do that type of work. Okay, so then there is a need. Okay, so there is a need of money, then you have to do that. Suppose if you have to do, if suppose is there any motivation? Okay, something, is there any motivation? The starting point is there any need or any motive? Okay, so any motive to do that work. Okay, any need or any motive to do that work, then there is a chance to motivation. That's why need or motives are the starting points of the motivation. Okay, so then an unsatisfied need creates tension that stimulates drives with the individual. Suppose if there is unsatisfaction need, suppose the need is unsatisfied, the person's need is, and suppose he is not, suppose his need is not fulfilled. Okay, then it is, then the employee is unsatisfied. Then it creates some tension, and also that stimulates drives within the individual. That means the individual is in a different behavior, or he is not involved in that work, so he is less motivated. Then these drives generate a such behavior to achieve particular goals that will satisfy the need and lead to a reduction of tension. So then we have to drive these type of people. Then we have they having some such behavior. Suppose these drives generate a such behavior. Suppose if my desire or need not fulfilled, then I am searching for new opportunity or new behavior to achieve particular goals. Suppose what I am desired, then I am achieving that goals that will satisfy the need and lead to a reduction of tension. Ultimately, my desire or need fulfilled, then ultimately there is no tension. That means the tension is reduced. Okay, suppose if my desire is not fulfilled, then there is an unsatisfaction, then it leads to some tension in my mind. Suppose if my desire is fulfilled, then my mind is peaceful, then they slowly there is tension is reduced. Okay, suppose suppose in this month I am paying, so I pay 10,000 rupees fees to some institution or some course. Okay, suppose I am not having that money, the 10,000 rupees are not there. Okay, I am not having that money. So then it creates some tension in my mind. So how could I pay that money? So because I am not having that much money. So suppose you have to consider your father and mother situation. Suppose tomorrow is the last day for, suppose you have to pay the examination fee. If you have some, suppose if you have some uh, dues to the college, then you are asking to your mother and father, so please, so tomorrow is the last day, so they don't have the money. So there is some tension. Okay, tomorrow is the last date. They are paying. They are not having the money. So how we are paying that fees to you? Okay, so then there is some tension in your parents' mind. Okay, that's like, so that's why suppose if the money is there, then there is no tension. Suppose if money is not there, then there is some tension. So that means satisfied answer. That means your need. So need is fulfilled or not. Okay, just like that. So the action taken by the individual will lead to the reward or goal which satisfies the need and reduces tension. Suppose the action taken by the individual will lead to the reward. Suppose uh, the management or manager is giving some reward. Suppose he satisfies. Suppose he completes his task within the stipulated time. Then you are giving some reward. Then automatically it creates some motivation, and also goal which satisfies the need and reduces tension. Ultimately, he reaches his goal and then he is satisfied. Then there is no tension. That means tension is reduced. The motivation process is presented in the following diagram. So first one is needs or motives. Then first one is tension, search behavior, performance, reward and goals. Then need satisfaction. Okay, so this is one thing. Suppose some tension is there. Suppose if the desires are not, suppose the needs are fulfilled, needs or motives are not fulfilled, then he search how to fulfill that needs. Then before that there is some tension. After that, then it leads to some performance. After such behavior, then he achieving some particular goals. Then his performance is very good. Then after that, based on his performance, the manager or management is giving some rewards and awards to the employee. Then it needs to satisfaction. Then ultimately again the same, again it starts again, another need or another motive is there. Then coming to next one. Suppose first one it is completed, then again second one, then second one is completed, then third one, then third one is completed, then again comes to this place, then fourth one, fourth need, then again it is completed, then we start from fifth need. Okay, just like that it is, the process is repetitive. Okay, until and unless if you are not having have any need or any desire. So because the needs and desires are not limited, because they are unlimited, so continuously they are generated in your mind, then again and again you have to do that, repeat. So then 5 steps of motivation process. Okay, so 5 steps of motivation process. Then first one is identify unsatisfied needs and motives. So in the motivation process, there are 5 steps. First one is the identify unsatisfied needs and motives. Okay, so first one you have to identify the unsatisfied needs and motives. Suppose what are the unsatisfied needs and motives are there in the from the side of employee. Then after that, tension. So you have to identify the tension, how much they are feeling the tension. So you have to try to reduce the tension. That's why then third one is action to satisfy needs and motives. After that, the manager is taking an action to satisfy needs and motives. So not only manager, yourself also, you have to satisfy your needs and motives. You have to try. Then after that, goal accomplishment. After that, you have to achieve the goal. After that, feedback. So again, we have to take the feedback, how we are feeling to complete this task. Then again, the same process is repeated for the second one. So these are the 5 steps of motivation process. So identify unsatisfied needs and motives. Second one, tension. Third one, action to satisfy needs and motives. And fourth one is the goal accomplishment. And fifth one is the feedback. Then next one is steps of motivation process explained below. So each and every one you have to explain. So first one is identify unsatisfied needs and motives. First one, the first process of motivation involves unsatisfied needs and motives. Okay. So first you have to identify the unsatisfied needs and motives. So then unsatisfied needs activated by internal stimuli such as hunger and thirst. Okay. So unsatisfied needs, those are activated by internal stimuli. These are all generally these are generated in the internal stimulation. So internal stimuli such as hunger and thirst. Suppose if you feel some hunger, sir, you feel some thirst. Suppose you want to drink some water and you have to eat some food. Then these are the internal stimuli. So these are unsatisfied. Then they can also be activated by external stimuli such as advertisement and window display. Suppose some external stimuli are there, those are nothing but some advertisement and window display. So you have to see this. Then there is a stimulation. Then you have to identify. So which is internal stimuli or external stimuli. Okay, then next one is tension. Okay, so tension means unsatisfied needs. So unsatisfied needs to create tension in the individual. Suppose is there any unsatisfied needs, then ultimately it leads to some tension in individual's mind. Then such tension can be physical or psychological and sociological. So the tension is physical or psychological or sociological. Then in this situation, people try to develop objects that will satisfy their needs. Then in this situation, the people are trying to develop objects. Okay, try to people try to develop objects that will satisfy their needs, and after that they find which are the things are satisfy our needs or the desires. Then you have to find out that one, you have to try to develop that objects. Okay, so then what is the main motive is you have to reduce the tension. Okay, that is very very important thing. Then third one, action to satisfy needs and motives. So suppose what are the actions we have to take to satisfy the needs and motives. Such a tension creates a strong internal stimulus that calls for action. Then the individual engages it in activities to satisfy needs and motives for tension reduction. For the purpose of tension reduction, you have to satisfy your needs and desires, motives. Then for this purpose, alternatives are suggest and choices are made. The action can be hard work for earning more money. Okay, so then for this purpose, alternatives are suggest and choices are made. For that purpose, there is some alternatives and I have to search something to fulfill our desire or a need or a motive. Then the action can be hard work for earning more money. So for the purpose, so you have to put some hard work to earn more money. Okay. Then next one is goal accomplishment. So accomplishment is one of the important thing. So then action is satisfy needs and motives accomplishes goals. Okay. So action to satisfy needs and motives accomplishes goals. Okay. Then it can be achieved through reward and punishment. These are achieved through reward and punishment. Suppose if you are not able to, they are not willing to do this one, then you have to give some punishment or reward. So then when actions are carried out as per the tensions, so then actions are mainly based on the tensions. Okay, so then depending upon the tensions, there are some, suppose there is some actions, then people are rewarded, others are punished. Okay, some people are rewarded and some people are punished depending upon their performance. Then ultimately goals are accomplished. Finally, ultimately goals are repeat accomplished. Okay. Then next one is feedback. Feedback is another important thing. So feedback provides information for revision and improvement or modification of needs as needed. Okay. So feedback provides information for revision or improvement or modification of needs as needed. Okay. So these are all the these are the information are collected from the uh, process motivation. So then, depending on how well the goal is accomplished, their needs and motives are modified. So depending upon this feedback, then the goal is achieved. Then we are taking the feedback. So how it is achieved? Suppose if it is not achieved, why it is not achieved? So you have to gather this information and kept with you. So then based on that, again, suppose there is some repetitions, then you have to give some corrections before. Okay. So this is beneficial to organization. This is very much benefited to organization. Okay, so this is feedback. So in feedback you have to take the opinion of the employee and also how it is implemented. So needs are satisfied or not, then you have to take all the feedbacks. Then finally you have to take the corrective actions in the next round. Okay, so in the next iteration. Okay, so this is about simple process motives. Then next one is theories of motivation. So after that, very important things are things I think is, so some of the theories for motivation. So theories of motivation. Okay, so Maslow's hierarchy. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a motivational theory in psychology, comprising a five-tier model of human needs. Okay, so first theory is theory of needs. That is nothing but Maslow's theory. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a motivational theory in psychology, comprising a five-tier model of human needs. So in Maslow's opinion, the human needs are categorized into five levels based on the psychology. So often depicted as hierarchical levels within a pyramid. Okay, so often depicted as hierarchical levels within a pyramid. Okay, these are represented in a pyramid shape. From the bottom of the hierarchy upwards, the needs are physiological, food and clothing, safety, job secure. Safety means job security. And the next one is love and belonging needs, friendship, and esteem and self-actualization. These are the five things. Okay. First one is physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization. Okay, these are the five levels. So needs lower in down in the hierarchy must be satisfied before individuals can attend to needs higher up. Suppose the employee is fulfilling the basic needs, that means low level hierarchy needs. Then he tries to satisfy the higher levels, next levels. Okay, so this is the basic concept of the Maslow's hierarchy. So under this, then you have to see this pyramid, then you have to understand this one. Then physiological needs, that are food, water, warmth and rest. So and safety needs, that is security and safety. So these two are comes under basic needs. And the next one is psychological needs. Psychological needs are categorized two levels. First one is esteem needs, prestige and feeling of accomplishment. Then belongingness and love needs, that is intimate relationships and friends. Okay, so prestige and feeling of accomplishment, that means you have some prestige, some and feeling. So that means you need some reputation, some respect, and you will be treated as a some of the great person in the society. So you feel like that is the esteem needs. Then belongingness and love needs, these are very important. We have to maintain the relation with the others and also friends. Then this is comes under psychological needs. And then self-fulfillment needs. So these are come to self-actualization needs also. That is achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. Suppose everybody is some creativity, then we have to utilize that creativity. Okay, then he knows about his potential, and we have to utilize the completed potential of the person. Then and also he is also using his 100% potential in his life, in her life. Then including creative activities. Suppose we have some creative activities, then this type of uh, uh, works are also there in the self-actualization. So then achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. So creative activities means any other activities rather than our regular work. And also there is some newness in that work, then that is called as creative activities. Okay, so for all these purposes, Maslow's is giving this theory. So under this one, before that you have to consider it. First you have to deficiency needs versus growth needs. Okay, so this is one of the important thing. So because the growth needs are not mentioned in there, but before you have to know this, first there is some different deficiency needs versus growth needs. So the five stage model can be divided into deficiency needs and growth needs. The five stages are divided into two types. So deficiency needs and growth needs. Deficiency means there is a there is no complete. Suppose your needs and desires are not completed. So that is the deficiency need. Some deficiencies are there in the needs. Then the first four levels are often referred to as deficiency needs, D needs. Okay. So on the top level is known as growth or being needs. Okay, so the first four levels are these four levels. Okay, physiological needs and safety needs and belongingness and love needs and esteem needs. These four are uh, deficiency needs, and the top level is known as growth or being needs. Okay, so growth or being needs, that means this is the first one. So this is comes under B needs, being growth needs or being needs. Deficiency needs arise due to deprivation and are said to motivate people when they are unmet. Okay. Suppose the basic needs are physiological needs are not met. So there is some deprivation, due to some deprivation, because of the deprivation, and also the motivation to fulfill such needs will become stronger and stronger the longer the duration they are denied. Okay. So deficiency needs arises generally there due to be some deprivation and are said to motivate people when they are unmet. Okay, so that is the problem. So also the motivation to fulfill such needs will become stronger and longer the duration they are denied. Suppose we are fulfilling the needs, then that needs those who are not complete. Suppose those who are not fulfilled, then the employee will become stronger and longer. Then the duration they are denied. Okay, so then she maintains some duration. Suppose he takes some duration for the next one. So then, for example, the longer a person goes without food, the more hungry they will become. Suppose for a long time the man will not take the money, then the more hungry they will become. Suppose he will become more hungry. So because there is lack of food, that's why. Then without food, then after some days, then you have to feel hungry. So even one day we have to feel hungry. Suppose it takes some longer period, then how they are sustained. Okay, so that is the things. Then this is the simple introduction about some growth needs and deficiency needs. Okay, so growth needs do not stem from a lack of something, but rather from a desire to grow as a person. Okay, so growth needs do not stem from a lack of something. Suppose there is some lack of something, then but rather a desire to grow as a person. So then, but rather from a desire to grow up as a person. So suppose if there is no growth, then ultimately rather from a desire to grow as a person, then that is the another chance. So once these growth needs have been reasonably satisfied, suppose the person's growth needs are reasonably satisfied, then one may be able to reach the highest level called self-actualization. So then one may be able to reach the highest level called self-actualization. So then they are reached, suppose they are reached the suppose they are fulfilling that one, then ultimately it leads to some self actualization. Then every person is capable and has the desire to move up the hierarchy toward a level of self actualization. So every person is capable and he has the desire to move up the hierarchy toward a level of self actualization. Okay, so everybody should start from basic needs, then finally you have to reach the level of self actualization. Unfortunately, progress is often disrupted by a failure to meet lower high level needs. Suppose the big problem is, so we are not having some basic knowledge, some lower level needs. Suppose unfortunately progress is often disrupted by a failure to meet lower level needs. Suppose lower level needs are not meeting. Suppose there is no requirement, then progress is often disrupted by a failure. Okay, to meet lower level needs. Okay, so they are failed, already existing people are there, they are failed to fulfill the needs of lower level people. Then life experiences including divorce and loss of a job. Okay, so then life experiences also important one, and including divorce and loss of a job. Suppose the person is taking some divorce or some loss of job, may cause an individual to fluctuate between levels of the hierarchy. At that time, he is fluctuated, so he changes his hierarchy. So that is one of the problem. Then, therefore, not everyone will move through the hierarchy in a unidirectional manner, but may move back and forth between uh, so life experiences including divorce and loss of job may cause an individual to fluctuate between levels of the hierarchy. He is always fluctuating the levels of the hierarchy. So then, therefore, not everyone will move through the hierarchy in an unidirectional manner, but may move back and forth between the different types of needs. Okay, so therefore, not everyone will. So we'll move through the hierarchy in a unidirectional manner. Suppose not everyone will move through the hierarchy in a unidirectional manner. Suppose we are all not, the employees are not in a same direction, not going in any direction, but may move back and forth between the different types of needs. So then again come back and they move back between the different types of the needs. Okay. So next one. So then the original hierarchy of needs five-stage model includes. So now we are coming into the original main topic. So the original hierarchy of needs five-stage model includes. Maslow's proposed this theory in 1942, 43, and 54. So stated that people are motivated to achieve certain needs, and that some needs take precedence others. So then there is a five-stage model. This is introduced by Maslow's in the years 1943 and 1954. So then our most basic need is for physical survival, and this will be the first thing that motivates our behavior. Okay, so our most basic need is for physical survival. Okay, so first we are all about first thinking about physical survival. That means physiological needs. That means food, shelter, and water or something. So these are the basic needs of a human being. So without these things, then we are unable to work, or we are not doing anything. So because we have not energy, suppose the strength in our mind and body, so that's why you have to maintain. Then so these are physiological needs are generally biological requirements that are human survival for the for the survival of human. So under this air, food, drink, shelter, clothing, warmth, sex, and sleep. These are the physiological needs. If these needs are not satisfied, the human body cannot function optimally. Suppose these are the needs are not satisfied, then uh, so then not satisfied, the human body cannot function optimally. So if the needs are fulfilled, then suppose if the needs are not fulfilled, then the human body cannot function optimally is because his desires are not satisfied, his needs are not satisfied. Then Maslow considered physiological needs the most important, as all the other needs become secondary until these needs are met. Suppose if are not fulfilling this one, there we are there is no use to go to the next level. So because the basic needs of the human being are not fulfilled, then how he do the job? That's why first you have to fulfill the physical needs, psychological needs, physiological needs of the employee. Then only he is able to work. Okay, so that is the physiological needs and safety needs. So safety needs means once an individual's physiological needs are satisfied, the needs for security and safety become salient. So then after that is basic needs are fulfilled. Suppose is physiological needs are fulfilled, then he think about safety needs. Then he needs some security from the others. Then also in job security. So this is very important. People want to experience order, predictability and control in their lives, and then people are no want to experience order, then predictability and control in their lives. So everybody wants to control in their lives and something. Then these needs can be fulfilled by the family and society. These needs are basically fulfilled by the family and society. So police, schools, business, and medical care. Then next one is, so then next one is love and belongingness needs. So love and belongingness needs, these are also important one. So after physiological needs and safety needs have been fulfilled, after these two needs are fulfilled, then the third level of human needs is social and involves feelings of belongingness. So the third level is human needs is social and involves feelings of belongingness. So the need for interpersonal relations motivates behavior. For example, there is a heart to friendship and intimacy and trust and acceptance, receiving and giving affections, and love. Okay, so these are affiliating, being part of a group. Okay, so uh, so receiving and giving affection and love. Suppose if you have to maintain some friendships and also have to maintain some relations with others, then you have to receive some affection and love and affiliating, being part of a group, that is family or friends or what. Then esteem needs. So esteem needs are the fourth level in Maslow's hierarchy, which Maslow classified into two categories. One is esteemed for oneself, that is dignity, achievement, mastery, independence. So everybody wants some independence and mastery. Suppose he is suppose he is master in something, that means expert in something, and he needs some achievement, he needs some dignity. Then these are fulfilled, then automatically the estimates are fulfilled. Then the second part is the desire for reputation or respect from others. Suppose you need some respect and reputation from others. Those are examples are status and prestige. So then Maslow indicated that the need for respect or reputation is most important for children and also adolescents and precedes real self-esteem or dignity. Okay, so okay, so then Maslow's indicated that the need for respect or reputation is more important for children. So children are expected more respect and reputation, because then adolescents are preceded real self-esteem or dignity. So adolescents are expected some, suppose the teenagers are expecting some dignity, some self-esteem. These are required for adolescents, and for children have to give some respect or reputation. So then, so fifth one is self-actualization needs. So self-actualization needs are the highest level in Maslow's hierarchy and refer to the realization of a person's potential, self-fulfillment, seeking personal growth and peak experiences. Okay, so the highest level in the Maslow's hierarchy, self-actualization needs, and refer to the realization of a person's potential. So at this stage, the person is realized his potential, about his potential and self-fulfillment, and also seeking personal growth and peak experiences. Okay, so Maslow's 9043 describe this level as the desire to accomplish everything that one can to become the most that one can be. So suppose the person is reaches this level, then ultimately she do anything related to the um, um, related to the family and also work life. Okay, so these are the self-actualization needs. Individuals may perceive or focus on this need very specifically. For example, one individual may have a strong desire to become an ideal parent. Suppose the parent is becomes some ideal parent, that means he becomes a good parent. Then in other, the desire may be expressed economically, academically, or athletically. Somebody is expecting some economical way and academically good, and also athletically in sports also, athletics also. So for others, it may be expressed creatively and paintings, pictures, or inventions. So these are different from parent to parent. Okay, some of the parents are focus on economical and academical and athletics, academics and athletics, and some others are focused on creativity and paintings and pictures and inventions. Okay, so this is again I am showing in the diagram. So physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging, and esteem and self-acceptance. So these are the summary. So human beings are motivated by the hierarchy of needs. Needs are organized in a hierarchy of prepotency in which more basic needs must be more or less meet prior or to higher needs. Then the order of needs is not rigid, but instead may be flexible based on external circumstances or individual differences. And most behavior is multi-motivated, that is simultaneously determined by more than one basic need. Okay, so this is the summary of Maslow's human needs theory. Okay, so this is about hierarchy of needs. Okay, so today I stopped over here.